What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Thinktwice, the weekly show where we talk about things going on in the world of Magic the Gathering, gaming, and pop culture. For episode 37, as always, I'm your host, Justin Parnell, joined by my co-host, Ali Aintrazi.
What's up, Justin? How you doing?
What's up? Doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. How was your weekend?
It was good. Relaxing. I caught a lot of Bulbasaurs over the week.
Oh yeah, they had that. They had that.
The Bulbasaur Community Day.
Yes, I skipped that one. Did not do that one.
I got like 6 shiny Bulbasaurs, which made up for Dratini, which I was very sick and could not go get that one.
Well, does that make up for Dratini though?
Nope, it doesn't. Yeah. But I got to tell myself that.
Yeah. What color is shiny Bulbasaur?
It's like neon green.
Oh, what's the Venusaur color?
Like neon green.
Okay.
The plant's like neon green.
Okay.
But I went, Meredith and I went out, and for the whole time, the first Bulbasaur that I caught was shiny.
Yeah.
And she did not see one, and she clicked on every single one she saw for the whole time. We were out there for almost 3 hours.
She never found one?
She found one with like 6 minutes left.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, we're not going home until you get a shiny Bulbasaur. I was like, we'll keep driving around. And then she finally found one.
Oh my gosh.
So that was fun. We've enjoyed the Pokemon Go community days, but outside of that, we kind of just relaxed on the weekend. How about you?
Yep, I played some Hex.
As usual.
Yeah, I've been streaming Hex again because of the newest set.
Hmm?
Doombringer.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to it.
Oh, you're going slow though.
I was dragging it out. Well, I was trying to make it epic for you.
Oh, okay, my bad. Sorry that I stopped you.
It's fine. That's fine.
So, basically, I tuned and made this really good combo deck. It's like blue-green combo with like Sugar Rush, which is a card that untaps all your lands essentially, then draws you a card for each creature you control.
Okay, so it sounds like a perfect blue-green card.
Yeah, it's like Early Harvest plus
Collective Unconscious.
Sure, yes. Or Feed the Mouth, or whatever it's called, yeah. The mouth side.
Feed the Mouth?
Yeah, the card where you make a 3/3 hippo, then you draw cards equal number of creatures you control.
With power 3 or greater.
Okay, well, not like
Collective Unconscious is a card from Arcadian Mask that just says draw card for each creature you control.
Well, okay, that's what it is then. It's exactly that. So, it's that deck. I've been streaming it, and in the tournament, the only matchups I lost were to the deck I had been streaming. Except they went next level a little bit. They were playing main deck counter magic.
Well, why weren't you playing main deck counter magic?
Because I wanted to be all in combo game 1.
Okay, so what happened games 2 and 3?
I would lose one of those 2 games.
Well, did you think about not doing that?
I mean, I tried, but the combo is so good. It's really good. Anyways, I ended up getting top 16 again.
Okay.
So that's what I did.
Tell me if you've heard this before. Maybe Hex doesn't know how to properly have the amount of rounds in the tournament that they need.
I've heard this before.
Okay.
I've heard this before.
Okay.
But this one wasn't off breakers though. To be fair.
Okay.
I mean,
fair.
one made it. One person made it with my record, but at the same time, it's like one person's like, okay.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. When like 4 people make it, or 3 people make it, it's like, all right, this is a bit much. But that was my weekend.
Okay. Well, over the weekend we had a question of the week, as we always do.
We did.
And of course, that question of the week for this week was, what will have the most viewers in a year? I said MTG Arena. You said Magic Online.
Yes.
So, of course, because so many people can see exactly what's in front of their eyes today, 45% of people agreed with you and said Magic Online in a year will still have more viewers on Twitch than Arena, and 39% agreed with me and said Arena will have more viewers.
I mean, maybe they have a crystal ball. Maybe they're scrying every turn.
Well, some amount of them, at least 39% of people will be right.
To be fair, a year is a long time.
It
And
is.
if
A lot can change in a year.
oh for sure, if MTG Arena get this stuff together, I actually want MTG Arena to be better than Magic Online.
I do too.
I
I
mean,
do too.
I think graphically and visually it already is, but yeah.
Well, as it turns out,
What?
our first segment today is our thoughts on the changes that they made to MTG Arena, as well as your first thoughts after finally getting some more than two turn games under your belt.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking some MTG Arena. All right, Elisa, you have finally had the opportunity to get more than 5 minutes of game action on Arena.
Yeah, I have. Actually, I was playing like in between my 1K matches at first for Hex,
Okay.
but afterward I actually streamed it for like a brief hour or two. But the more I played, the more I enjoyed. I think maybe what happened was when I first played it, maybe everyone was joining in. It was like laggy, and people were just like, you know what? Okay, I'm not playing. I'm just gonna see this match, or it's not working properly.
Mm-hmm.
Also, learning stuff can be kind of unfun, depending. Like, for me, it was very hard to figure out how to add lands to my decks, basic lands. It wasn't very
Oh,
intuitive.
yeah, it's not intuitive at all.
Yeah. So, after figuring that out and, like, getting some decks together, I started playing again, doing the dailies, just doing what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And I still wasn't, like, fully enjoying myself. Basically, it felt like I was playing, like, a glorified sealed. Basically like sealed, but a little better, right?
Like you got maybe 10 packs, like 10 packs sealed.
Yeah, yeah. And everyone's sealed deck was insane, basically. So, but then I looked and I saw like I did have some rare wild cards. I did have I did have a mythic wild card and
Look at you.
some other ones.
Okay.
Like, and I was sandbagging them. I was like, I'm gonna hold these and I'm just gonna wait until I know what I want to play. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna have fun. I know what deck I like to play, so I'm just gonna craft these cards. So I went and I crafted 3 Hour Promise, which is my 3 wild cards.
Okay.
And I ran out of rare wild cards. I was like, I have 1 mythic. I was like, okay, I know the Scarab God is like,
The bee's knees.
the bee's knees. I was like,
The ballless knees.
Yeah, I was
Ballless knees.
oh, by the way, I crafted the 3 Hour Promise because one of the packs I opened had as a comma. Problem of Calamity.
So this is a sign.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
So this is a sign.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, okay, so we got this a comma. We should get to her. I'm going to spend all my rares on Hour Promise. I'm going to spend all my uncommons on Spring Renewal. And then I'm going to spend my Mythic on. I was like, okay, I know the Scarab God is like the best card. But it doesn't really fit in this deck right now. So I'm going to spend my Mythic on the Immortal Sun. And that way, if I want to play tokens or something, I can put the Immortal Sun into it. Even if I'm playing like a mid-range deck, I can put the Immortal Sun into it. It's basically like the Worm Coil engine of non-creature spells.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. So I did that, and I played last night. Actually, I was streaming last night. That before I threw people to you to watch you play.
Yep.
I think I went like I even uploaded the videos up to YouTube and stuff of that deck. I think I went like 12-0 or something. Like I just didn't lose a game. It was kind of
That's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. It was kind of cool. Basically, it's just like a base bant deck with splashing a little bit of red for just a comma, and it has like spring to mind, Hour Promise, Ipni Roulette in case the game goes long, so you can mill your opponent out. So
basically,
cool.
as close as you can get to your Mastermind's acquisition deck.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you don't have acquisitions yet.
I do not have those yet.
Okay.
The only problem that this deck had was the uncommon deserts, like the Ipni Roulette or Haship Oasis or Shivak Dunes. Like, I have to literally manually click those, otherwise it will not click. It
won't use them.
Yeah. So
that's what I was saying last week. Anything that has like an ability, it like refuses to use it. It's like scared to use it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So when I cast a comma, I'm like, I need to type everything so I can float mana. and all of a sudden it's like, all right, you're about to use one of your timeout things. I'm like I'll have 3, so I should be fine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So usually I am fine, obviously, and people usually like die or concede within like a turn or two after realizing that it has reach, vigilance, trample, and all these abilities.
Yeah, the timeouts are pretty generous, fortunately, which I'm in favor of. I've seen some
Oh,
people complain about it.
oh no, I love them. I love them because there's no moto clock, right?
No.
And
Well, I mean, there kind of is. It's like the longer the game goes, like if you, for example, if it's like turn 1 and your opponent doesn't show up, it's a much shorter time than it is on Magic Online.
yeah,
But if it's like turn 12 and you have a lot of those timeouts banked up, you can take some long turns and it's not really going to hurt you.
which is great. I
Yeah.
think yeah, I think that's great because like if you use them like early in the game, then you don't deserve them late in the game either. So like
Exactly.
so the person sort of like a control deck or something, you can just kill that, counter that, kill that. Then when it matters, like you have the Scarab God, and you want to animate like 3 creatures or whatever, you can like take your time.
Yep.
You've earned those timeouts, or you've earned that extra time.
I agree. So we'll get to obviously a big, excuse me, a big discussion point for a lot of people, and we're going to be talking about this in a second as the economy. But outside of the economy of the game, like what do you think of the graphical interface, like how everything looks?
I actually really enjoy the graphics. I enjoy the visuals. I enjoy seeing like the cards fly in my opponent's face.
Hmm.
It's so much better visually than Magic Online. Just seeing all that was sweet. And I actually had a Vona at one point that was playing in like tokens. And when you play her, she like comes out of her little thing,
And she points with her, yeah.
sword. Yeah. So I knew like I realized when I was first casting Zakama, I was like, oh man, this is gonna have an
Kama's gonna
animation,
be
right?
epic.
Like
Yeah.
what's it gonna be? Like so I paused everything. I turned the volume up a little bit, and then I cast her, and it was sweet because she comes into play, and you see like these like 3 heads come up of the cards, like they're roaring.
And just like roars around.
Have you
Yeah.
seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I had someone play it against me.
Oh wow, okay. It was sweet. It was sweet. So I cast her, and she did all that noise, and it was like, sweet, awesome.
Yeah.
Like just that's. Oh, I've also seen the Scarab God. He like comes out like his 2 like scythes, or
Yeah.
whatever they are, and just does,
And it
does
just
a
like
little thing.
slices across. Yeah.
Yeah. It's sweet.
There's
Uh,
not even it's even some uncommons have it too, like rares and uncommons. Like
Oh, yeah.
Merfolk Mistbinder has an animation, which is really sweet.
Yeah. So does the vampire one. Comes on play like it glows or something for the vampire
Yeah.
team. Yeah. The lords.
Yeah.
I think all the lords have some sort of like a neat effect.
Yeah.
It's
I
cool
really
too.
like they've added more of those because
As time gets going, they are. Yeah.
yeah, as in the other beta before the wipe, it was just mythics and like 2 or 3 rares, and now they're adding like
and more.
every mythic has an animation. A lot of rares do. The sounds are all really good. Like it's just I don't know. It just makes the game more fun. Like
It
when you
does.
have that, it just makes the game more fun.
Oh yeah, like because like I can't remember what it was, but I was casting something and I'd basically just mimic the noise, whatever it was,
Yeah.
because it's cool. Also, just like something as simple as a treasure, like it rains down gold, or even the planeswalkers. It's kind of weird hearing like
Their
Angrath,
voices.
yeah, Angrath talk. Because I actually opened Angrath. I got lucky enough to open an Angrath 2 that I played,
Man.
and he makes a cool sound. Like his voice, like it's like wow. I've read the lore, and this is what Angrath sounds like. It's kind of cool, you know. I've heard.
No fire, no steel.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's no fire, no steel.
And then the hammer
throws a
comes
hammer
down.
at them, hits
Yeah.
their face. They take 2 and discard a card. Oh, and then when you like uses minus to still a creature, he literally throws like a scorpion get
Like-
over here thing.
Yeah, like a chain. He throws like a chain to it.
Yeah, and it hooks on the creature and like literally pulls it across the screen to your side, which I think
That's
is cool.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
The planeswalkers are great. I really love. Hopefully, I have 1 mythic wild card right now, and I think I'm gonna. I'm either gonna go with Scarab God, even though it's boring, or Vraska, which is. Vraska's just obviously really good, but her animation's really sweet too, because she like
I haven't seen her yet.
it's like this like black and purple like little like bomb comes down, and then it looks like like purple and black like veins in the ground, and then she like pops out of it.
Oh, that's cool.
Like then her card like like not like explodes out of it, but it kind of like hatches out of it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's just like this really like slithery noise. I don't know. It's sweet.
I kind of wonder what Jay sounds like now too, because like Jay's part of the Gatewatch. Hearing,
Yeah.
I was hearing Gideon too. Not my side, but like people playing Gideon against me. I've heard him.
Yeah.
Also heard Huatley.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's cool. It's cool seeing all the characters like come to life and actually do things instead of like it's exciting. It's exciting.
It is, and that's what Magic should be. I mean, they have this gigantic world where, yeah, obviously, like today, our second segment is when we talk about Magic stories. This is something that interests us, and like be able to see that in the game, be able to play the game at the same time as you're experiencing these things. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's something that people maybe aren't appreciating as much as they should.
Yeah, even the Immortal Sun has an animation. Nothing crazy, but like when you play like glows like golden and like you see the sun like spin or something, then the card comes down, and that's just cool too. Oh! I was copying the meow sound when you play Regal Caracol.
All the cats
They're great. Yeah, it's great. It's
Yeah.
like, meow meow.
Even like yeah, because it's two cats. It brings two cats into
Yeah.
the character.
Yeah,
Because even Sacred Cat makes a little meow.
Yeah. Regal makes two. It's like meow meow. And it's like
Yeah.
all right, we're gonna meow town. We're gonna. It's entertaining. It's entertaining.
It is.
It's much
And
more.
that's-
Yeah, I'll say it's much more than Magic Online, where it's like boom boom,
Yeah.
don't know. It's like what?
Like who wants these noises?
These are
who's in for these noises?
There's like 8-bit noises that don't just mute it. Like I don't know anyone that streams Magic Online with actual sound because the sound is just like
it's terrible.
right. And with MTG Arena, you have a reason not to play music because you want to hear the sound effects.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Hearthstone players I watch. There's
A lot of them play with sound.
yeah because the cards makes nice sound. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's great. It's great.
Okay, so other pros and cons off the top of your head.
Just acquiring the cards it seems a little bit slow for me. I actually haven't even opened up a vault yet. I'm getting close though. I'm like 90% or something.
Yeah, I think right before we started recording, I'm at like 96%. So the next booster pack I open, I'll have it.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting. But so basically, like after you do your weeklies, which is like win like 15 games a week, and then like some random quests, all I get now after a win is a random, mostly common,
almost always common. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's uncommon, then very rarely it's a rare. But that's all you get, and like it's kind of like okay, well I'm just gonna wait like 2-3 days, come back, do my dailies, and get off again. I have no incentive to actually like play more because the reward is so minimal. There's no ladder system. It's not like I'm climbing towards the top for a chance of like right, exactly. So it's like I'm not really playing for anything. So after I get anything, in the back of my hand, it's like okay, I know this is beta. I know everything's gonna reset. So I'm just gonna stop right now, and I'll play more when I get more quests.
Yep.
That's like the biggest con I've had with the game.
Okay. My biggest pro, and I'm coming from having played the beta before for a couple of months. A big improvement is the quest user interface, where it's like at the bottom of the screen. It used to be a menu you actually had to go into.
Okay.
It was awful. It was like that was like my least favorite thing because you'd go play a game and you're like, what was my quest again? And you have to go look at it. And this is like, it's very attractive looking. It shows very clearly what your rewards are for like your next win or like your next couple of wins. It shows when you're going to get a new quest, which I really like.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the timer thing, countdown. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's great. That's fantastic. I also like seeing where the cards go if you ever hit something with Vault. Like it actually lets you know. Previously, if you like after a win. If you were to vault something, like if you got like your 5th common, just nothing would come up. It would add it to like its value to the vault, but you just wouldn't know.
Right.
You'd have to go and look at your vault again, which was also on a different screen.
Okay.
And now they have all that stuff on the main screen, which I think is a massive improvement.
Yeah, you can hover over the thing, and it gives like you have 9 commons, wild commons, and 9 or 4 uncommons, or whatever.
Yeah, for wild cards. Yeah.
Yeah, wild cards. Yeah. One thing also did mess up too was during my attacks. Like there's one time I was just clicking. The same place where you pass priority or like pass the steps is if you keep clicking
no attacks.
It's not no attacks. It's all attacks. Yeah, it's all attacks.
Yeah.
So like there were times like click on it's like all attacks. I'm like no, I don't want to attack. But my fingers like still clicking, and my head's like I'm like saying no. It's actually on stream. I'm like no. All of a sudden my card turns sideways. I'm like I should probably stop clicking when I'm saying no.
But, like, no, I can't.
Yeah. So maybe move that a little bit, or maybe switch no attacks to attack. I don't know. Maybe switch the buttons around or something, or maybe I get used to it. I don't know.
I think you probably just move. I don't know, because like that is the place where you're like passing priority. Yeah. So I don't know. I think you probably should just get used to it. Maybe just stop so much.
Right. What's better? No attacks in that spot or attacks in that spot? If you're an aggro deck, it's probably attacks. If you're, I don't know, it's weird.
I like attacks because it encourages people to be aggressive. You like no attacks because it encourages you to not die.
Yeah, I just want to hang back with my kitty cats.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously the other huge con for me right now, as it is for a lot of people, is the economy of the game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and when we were talking last week, I didn't know this, but they actually made the economy worse with this update.
Yeah. Oh, the newest update?
Yes.
Even worse?
Yes.
Oh man, why?
So that was what I was going to say. When you get to your vault, don't open it.
Okay.
Because they removed the mythic. You used to always get a mythic wild card. You used to get a mythic wild card, a rare wild card, 2 uncommons, and 4 commons from the vault.
Uh-huh.
And now you do not get a mythic wild card, which feels real bad. And then in an update they're going to do in a couple of weeks, they're going to add back the mythic wildcard to the vault. So they won't reset your vault status, so you should just hold off on opening the vault. And that goes for everyone out listening. Yeah, hold off from opening your vault if you can. If you can manage, you'll be rewarded in a few weeks with a mythic wildcard.
But let's say my vault's 100%.
You can add up multiple vaults.
Okay, cool.
So it'll keep going.
All right, that's good. That's good to know. That's important.
Yeah, you won't be punished by doing that. Right. And that's not just for now. That's just in general.
All right, that's good then. That's good.
So, but not only that, but obviously they moved down the ability to get mythic and rare mythic wildcards because people in the previous version were like, I have so many mythic wildcards, I don't know what to do with them. And I actually encountered the same thing, but that's because you have 2 sets, and Ixalan and Rivals of Ixalan, there's not a lot of mythics you want to use. There's a lot of rares.
Yeah.
So they moved down the mythic wildcards, but then they introduced Amonkhet and Hour of Devastation, not only which have much better cards in the mythic slot than the rare slot, but obviously the more cards that you add to a standard or any format, the average rarity per card in a deck is going to go up because you have more cards to choose from. So, of course, in general, the mythic and the rares you're going to play more of those than you are in the commons and uncommons, especially in like a block constructed.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And actually, I read up on this. I think people were complaining about not having too many mythic wild cards. They were asking for
more rare wild cards,
or being able to trade like downgrade mythic to rare at the very least. Like they're asking, like they weren't saying we have too much stuff. They're saying let us trade these.
We want more control over what we.
Yeah, let me trade a mythic wild card for a rare wild card. It's a downgrade. Like let me do that. Yep. But instead they're like, okay, we hear you, but we're going to just make you have less wild cards in general.
Just in general, yeah. But not only that, they took away. Not only did they just take it away, which was bad, but they did it in the opposite direction because the more sets you add, the more frequently you need to have wildcards. Because otherwise, like the first pack that I opened was a Rivals of Ixalan pack, and I opened Sphinx's Decree, which has to be the worst card in the set.
I opened that too, actually.
Really?
Yes.
It's like unplayable. It's worse than almost every common.
Which one's Sphinx's Decree?
The white card that says
they can't play spells next turn, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's when I opened.
Yeah, card's awful.
Yeah, I opened it and I was like, oh, that's a waste of a rare, but what can I do?
Yep. I opened it and I opened it on my first stream and I was like, "Welcome to Arena.
Yeah, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
I'm gonna live with this for the rest of my life."
Let's keep grinding.
So I think there are some ways that the economy can be improved. Obviously, we've spent a lot of time thinking about this. So I kind of just want to go over a few, if that's okay.
That is not okay.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna just plow ahead.
All right, go ahead.
All right. So obviously, the first thing is they need to increase wildcards. Just the frequency that you get them. They need to be able to do that just flat out. As you pointed out, the ranks mean nothing, so you're not really incentivized to
keep playing
to win. Yeah, if it seems like you're going to lose, you're actually incentivized to just concede and then just re-queue.
Absolutely.
And the quests pay too little. Just ultimately, if you're just going by quests, the smallest quest pays 225 coins, and I think that biggest one pays 500. Even though I haven't seen a 500 yet, but supposedly it does. And then the middle one pays 300. If the lowest one paid 300, coupled with completing your quest and your first win of the day is 200 coins, that's half of what it takes to get a booster pack.
Yeah.
I think they need to move the minimum quest up to 300. That way, guaranteed, if you just win like 1 to 2 matches every day, every other day you can buy a booster pack, which I think is really important.
I agree because right now it's like I think you get maximum 3 packs a week, and that's if you do like all your quests.
That's with other than gold, like unless you buy with gold, you can get more if you buy with gold. But yeah, if you just do, you get on your 5th, 10th, and 15th win, you get a free booster pack.
No, I'm saying just with gold. If like exclude the.
Oh yeah.
I think if all the gold you earn per week, with all that gold you can buy 3 packs. That's it.
You could buy 4 if you rolled really high on your quests.
Sure, but I think the average is 3.
Yeah, the average is 3.
Yeah, and that's like that's low for me. That's low. Because
it is low.
The packs also have less cards too. That are not normal packs.
So the most gold you can get, you get 200 gold from your first win, then 50 for your next 3. So it's 350. So 350 plus your. Let's say it's 225. So that's 575. Over 7 days, it's just short of 4. It's almost 4 packs. It's like a hair short of 4 packs. So you're probably, that's assuming you get you just get the 225 quest. If you get a couple of 300s, then you should be able to get that 4th pack, but even still, that's like 7. That's like a pack a day for putting a lot of time in, and that's I don't know. Like,
well, I think about
you need a lot of cards to make not even an optimized deck, but just like an F&M level deck.
Well, the thing that kind of bothers me is I wish, like this is if you play every day. Like, I wish
you have to.
Yes, every day for like an hour or 2 or whatever. I wish instead it was, the first like 12 hours you play or however X hours you play, you get all this gold. Because for me, like, or for I guess older people that have jobs and family and everything else, it's hard to actually get on every day and play. Like I can't do that. But there are some days where like I have 5 or 6 hours I can play today, but that might be it for the week. Right, and that's not fair to that. Like that's not like, yeah, exactly that. So like I wish it was the first X games, the first X wins, X time or whatever, you get this amount of gold. Instead of, hey, play every day for 1 or 2 hours and that's it. Because I can't always do that. And I want to get the max, as a Magic player, we're all about max value. Like I want to get the max value for my packs and golden decks. So.
Yeah. Another thing that obviously that I talked about last week, and this is the drum that I've decided to bang for MTG Arena. And I'm going to keep saying it until it happens, because I think this is a win-win for players and for Wizards. You need to be able to trade 4 wild cards up to the next rarity. Just simply put. If you have 4 common wild cards, you need to be able to trade those 4 into an uncommon. If you have 4 uncommon wild cards, you should trade 4 of those into a rare. If you have 4 rare wild cards, you should be able to trade 4 of those into a mythic. That means if you get 64 common wild cards, you could trade all of those all the way up to 1 mythic rare, which I think is perfectly acceptable.
It's a lot of wild cards.
It's a lot of wild card, but eventually, like,
that'll happen. Yeah,
you're going to have a lot of common wild cards because you get, as you pointed out, for the majority of your wins, like your first 30 wins of the day, it's like 20 of those at minimum are going to be commons.
Yeah.
So you're going to be getting those commons, and you're not going to you're going to get to a point where you're like, I don't have anything to spend these common wild cards on, and they're just rotting.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the beta cycle, last beta cycle before the wipe, I had like 32 like common wild cards. I literally went through and I was like, I'm going to craft every single thing that comes out of a booster pack. And I did. And I still had 7 common wild cards left over. And I could have crafted like the Planeswalker deck commons, but I'm like, well, I don't want to play these.
Yeah.
But I literally don't have any other option. Like I just have these just left over.
Yeah, you might as well, I guess.
Yeah. So there will be a point where you have a ton of common wild cards you have nothing to do with. You need to be able to turn those into something.
Yeah.
It not only encourages people to play to try to get to that point because it's like, oh, I can work for something. Even though I'm getting unlucky and I haven't got any mythic wild cards, if I get enough common ones or uncommon ones, I can eventually turn them into what I want them to be.
Yes.
And that goes along with the wild card concept because that's exactly what they are. Wild cards. You should be able to turn them into whatever you want, and it just costs you more if you want to go up rarities, and I think that's also fine.
Right, and yeah, you're right. Like if I could like win games and get like I said, 64 common wild cards for mythic. So there sometimes I would get uncommon wild card or uncommon whatever, each card, and that at least I feel like, hey, I can win 64 times this today, and at the very worst I'll get a mythic. Like obviously it's a lot, but like at least you feel like you're doing something.
Exactly.
Because one uncommon wild card at that point is like 4 wins.
Exactly.
So yeah.
And that's not even the worst part. If this change does not happen, imagine having so many wild cards, and you're like, okay, I can make every common in all of the sets that are available, and then you open a booster pack, and you get 4 cards that you already have. Of course, they're going to go to the vault, and then your 5th common is a common wild card, and it's worse than those commons that went to the vault because it doesn't do anything. That's the absolute worst feeling.
Yeah, can't imagine.
But it actually encourages people to use their resources. Wizards want people to use their resources. They want them to blow through their resources.
Yeah.
Especially once people can spend money on the game, they're like, man, if I just spend a ton of money, I'll just get enough common wild cards where I can at least get a mythic. And it encourages them to go through all of their resources as quickly as possible to upgrade them, so they actually need to acquire more resources either with money or time playing the game. It is literally a win-win for both.
Yeah, and also MTG Arena is a CCG, so like you can't like cash out your card, so like it's literally for them it's just it's just money. So
another thing, and this is kind of the same thing as what I was saying as far as being able to trade wild cards up, is what if instead of having rarity wild cards, you just had wild cards that kind of appeared in the common slot, and you could just redeem them for different rarities, and it took different numbers to redeem for rarities. Like commons were 1, uncommons were 5, rares were 10, and mythics were 20.
Sure.
That could potentially solve it too. I like my first one more.
I do too. I think they have a lot of ways, a lot of things they can do. I just hope they do something, because right now it's obviously this is the biggest complaint out of everybody. So
it is. And again, I'm gonna pound the drum of being able to trade up wild cards. I think that helps a lot. So if you are playing MTG Arena, I encourage you to talk about that on Twitter. I'm going to be talking about that on Twitter pretty soon, pretty heavily. So, okay. So the last thing, Ali, do we want to hit this last thing, or do we want to hold off on this for a different segment? Because we've been talking about Arena for a while.
I think we should save it for next time, because I want to go in depth on this, and also we'll both have more information on it.
That's true. Okay. So for today, We're probably going to be talking about Arena a lot more in the future, especially over the next few weeks as the economy keeps changing, as we get more information under our belt and more reps. Just to remind everyone, you can watch us stream twitch.tv/Ali Aintrazi and twitch.tv/ThinkTwice MTG. Ali and I are actually both streaming. I started streaming last week. Thank you to those of you who have watched me stream. Obviously, I'm kind of just getting my feet wet in that, but I've been okay so far. And Ali is obviously a practice veteran. So
Sure. It's been a minute though. It's been a minute since I streamed Magic because I've been streaming Hex. So coming back to Magic is like it's a little different, but still fun. I think we can go and tell them what we'll talk about next week though. Give them a little teaser.
I think we can do that. Why don't you hit them with it?
All right. So next week on MTG Arena, we'll be talking about what cards have the most value to craft from your common wild cards, your uncommon wild cards, your rare wild cards, and your mythic wild cards. Like what cards are the best bang for your quote unquote buck or
yep for your virtual buck.
Yeah, so
your virtual wild buck.
Yep. So we'll be talking about that next week. So make sure you tune in for that.
Yep. So with that, we are going to hop out for a moment, and when we return, we're going to be talking episode 3 on Dominaria Magic Story. So Ali, not only were we back on Dominaria, but we are back with the ship that more or less started it all, the Weatherlight.
Yes, the big ship that stopped the Phyrexian invasion.
Yes. So, Ali, why don't you give us a very brief rundown of what happened in this week's Magic Story?
Sure. It's basically Jhoira just sees that her ship is back. The Weatherlight's back. She's wants to repair it, wants to get it back and running, and she's just going around all throughout Dominaria recruiting people. She recruits an angel. She recruits a Capuchin, and she recruits a family member of the Sisse family. And at the very end of the story, we see Ajani pop in as she's going back to the Weatherlight. So basically, we just see her recruiting members for the Weatherlight, and that's basically the whole entire story. It's pretty simple.
Yep. This is a it's like there's kind of a lot going on, but it was a lot of wheel spinning in my opinion.
I feel like it's basically introducing everybody and slowly getting the engine going.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of it's a lot of little origin stories.
Yeah.
Kind of compressed together.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give an honest opinion. I personally found this one a little bit boring compared to other stories. And I say that like I understand the point of the story. I understand you need to do this, but I just didn't really enjoy it. I wasn't like my eyes weren't glued to the story. I was like, no, what's next? What's next? It was just like, okay, all right, I get it.
Yeah,
this is necessary. What's next?
Yeah, I felt like the part that I liked the best was actually like the very end when Ajani shows up.
Yeah, absolutely. I was like, well, this is the best part. It kind of sucks that's it though. But yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, but that was the only part where I'm like, oh, I'm intrigued to find out more. Everything else was like, okay, we get it. You're doing like it's like every movie, team-based movie. It's like we got to do the 20-minute thing where we get all the team members, and some of them are more resistant, and some of them are more willing, and these two clearly have very different personalities, so they won't get along at all, but they're going to be forced to be best friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh, you got a vampire and an angel.
That's crazy.
And they're so different. How could they possibly get along? You have this brash youngster that really wants to take over and lead the team, but will certainly learn a lesson along the way about what it takes to be humble and understanding how to be part of a team. And I think that's where we're going.
But let's talk about the characters that were introduced or they met. I guess let's go deeper into the story.
Okay.
So the first one is Tiana, who is an angel. She's an angel, and she has she basically is just running errands, and she's not an angel that's like righteous and like, let's defeat the bad guys and.
Confident. Yeah, she's an angel by trade, but not by like personality.
Yeah. She's very doubtful. She doesn't really know, like low confidence, I guess.
I think that's good. That's definitely true.
Yeah, she basically seems like an. She's basically been like an errand angel because of who she like, of how of her personality, and you can tell it like, that's wearing on her to the point where she's like, okay, this is what I am. This is what life is. Whatever. But then she meets Jhoira, and she sees the Weatherlight, and she's like, she starts actually being really happy and like glowing, and like there's some kind of connection to her and the Weatherlight. She's like crying out of happiness or something, and she's just like, there's something going on.
Well, she was sent from the Church of Sarah
Yeah.
to essentially to make sure that that the Power Stone, which the Power Stone is what powers the Weatherlight, and it was actually it's a terrible story because again, Urza is a terrible dude, but when he collapsed Sarah's realm,
Yeah, put in Power Stone.
he put it into the Power Stone, and that's actually what powers the Weatherlight. So Tiana was sent by the Church of Sarah to make sure that if the Power Stone was still functional, that it was taken care of, and if it was not functional,
It goes back to
that
the,
it was returned. Yeah, that it was returned
the church.
with Tiana to the Church of Sarah.
Yeah, yeah. And Jhoira, and what was kind of intriguing, like you would have missed it if you were just reading the story, not thinking about it, or actually looking at all the words. Jhoira, she's like, well, the Power Stone doesn't work. I do have a backup. And like she touches something on her chest.
Her necklace, yeah.
And it's like, what is that?
Yeah.
But we never learned because Tiana is able to connect with the Power Stone and turn it back on and interact with it. So we never can see what that is, but I'm sure it'll come up later in the story.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
So yeah, so Jhoira sees this. She sees Tiana has like some connection with the Weatherlight, and Jhoira's like, "Hey, Tiana, I have a job for you." And Tiana's like, "Okay, yeah. What do you want me to run to send a message to? What do you want me to do? Yeah, I can do it." She's like, "Well, I want you to be part of my crew."
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
It's like, yeah, she's so, yeah, she's like
defeated.
She is just at every moment. She's like, okay, yep, I'll do it. I'll scrub the toilets. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll do it. It's like, no. I want you to actually like be a part of the crew. You clearly have a connection with like the mechanics of this ship.
Yes. And she's the first member.
Yep.
Then after that, Jhoira goes to recruit more members, and she actually sees. Is it Shauna? Shauna?
Shauna.
Yeah, she sees Shauna. Shauna is actually fighting off some Cabal agents that are trying to get maps from the merchants so that they can intercept all the merchants and maybe stop trade goods or whatever. You know, whatever the Cabal wants to do. Whatever.
Yeah, Cabal basically just sticking their nose in everyone else's business.
Basically, yes. And Shauna is just dispatching them. You see the Cabal like throwing death magic at her and like or doing they have the special thing called dementia magic where we basically see your worst fears come to life, and Shauna just it hits her like just rolls right off as if she's as if it's like water.
It's not a big deal. It's like, now you're really just inconveniencing me.
Yes, she basically runs through him, kills the Cabal, and Jhoira notices this, and she knows this is a trait from this is a bloodline where
lineage,
where they are immune to magic.
Yep.
So she goes over to her, talks to her, like, "Hey, I'm Jhoira, Sisay. I'm Shauna." She's like, "Well, I knew Sisay." She's like, "Oh my god, you knew Sisay? You're Jhoira." And then like she's like enamored.
And of course, Sisay was the original captain of the Weatherlight.
Yes. Yep. And Jhoira asked her to join as well, and she's eagerly does so. She can't wait.
Yep. And I think, and of course, like I had no doubt that just based on this little story, there's going to be some sort of like, I don't want to say power struggle between Jhoira and Shauna, but Shauna knows who she is, and she knows who Sisay was, and I think there's going to be some like, am I supposed to be the rightful heir to captaining the Weatherlight, even though you're the captain now? So, I don't know.
Oh, maybe that's true. Though we'll see. Yeah.
Yep.
So
okay,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
So Jhoira wants to get someone from basically every bloodline that was on the Weatherlight, and the last one that she wants to get is a Capuchin from Gerard Capuchin's bloodline. She goes, and we see the woman with the sweet like sword that has like, what do you call it, when the stained glass sword almost. It's like
I'm trying to look for it in the story right now, but you can keep going.
Yeah, her name is Neitha.
Danitha.
Is Danitha, and she obviously has this like knight and power like aura or presence she's giving off, and Jhoira's like, hey, I know you're a Capuchin. I want you to be part of my team, part of the Weatherlight. Yep. And Danitha, she actually declines. She says it's basically being, you know what, I don't want to live in the shadow of Gerard Capuchin or my family's bloodline, and I've sworn my sword and my body to Benalia to guard it, and this is what I'm going to do. It's I'm not tied to my family just because Jhoira did this. It doesn't mean I have to. This is what I'm going to do. Yep. And Jhoira is like, well, I can't really argue with that, so that sucks, but okay.
Now we don't really think that Danitha will not become a part of the crew, right?
I don't know.
I think at some point she will.
Maybe her brother dies or something, and she's like, all right, I'm gonna avenge my brother. Who knows?
And so something to note about the Capuchin bloodline is one, it's very muddied because Urza obviously. I don't want to say he experimented with it necessarily, but
he definitely. He basically.
I guess he did.
He bred bloodlines based on power and strength and whatever. He encouraged the bloodlines to come together and basically breed until they came up with the perfect or strongest human or person. And the Capuchin was one of his projects. Actually, the only one that lived. The rest were destroyed by the Phyrexians because the Phyrexians realized what was happening, killed everybody else, but did not kill the Capuchin bloodline. And so the Capuchin bloodline inherently has, like, is stronger, faster, smarter.
Yep. Warriors by nature.
Yes.
But something important to note about their bloodline specifically is Danitha she doesn't necessarily have to be related by blood to Gerard. Like, she doesn't have to be like her, like he's not like her uncle or daughter or anything necessarily. Because they are kind of, it's more of like think about it as a family in the sense that you and I are a family rather than the sense of you and your mom are a family.
Yeah.
Where you have similar ideals, you're trained similarly, you're from a kind of a larger family, but you're not necessarily like brother sister related.
Right.
So, but for Dominaria and the Capuchins, that's equally as important, especially considering that Gerard was only a Capuchin by name because he literally was just plucked out of nowhere and kind of just popped into that bloodline by Urza, more or less.
Yep. So she declines, and immediately afterwards, she walks out of the hut or the building wherever they're in, or whatever it was, pub. Raph is like, "Hey, all right, I'm her brother. I heard everything. I want to go." And immediately they're like, "Well, what are you, like 13, 14?"
Yeah.
He just ignores that question. He's like, "I'm old enough to fight. Old enough to do this." He's like, "I'm a Capuchin as well. I want to do this." And Jhoira and Shauna are both like, I don't know if we should take this. He's young.
Yeah, Shauna's like, so they're training mages at 12 now?
Yeah.
She's like, we're 13?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll give you a year.
Yes. And she told Jhoira, like, I have scars that are older than this kid. But Jhoira says, he's basically trying to convince them, and Jhoira's reluctant too. He's like, you know what? The Cabal don't care about age. Eventually, they're going to try to take over everything, and one way or another, if we don't succeed, they will come, and Raph will have to fight. So
one way or another.
Yeah.
If he wants to fight, let's let him fight.
All right. And they're still thinking, and as they're walking away, Raph starts casting like an illusion spell, and Jhoira's like, thankfully she knows it's an illusion spell. Otherwise, she'd probably have to like turn herself and maybe attack him back. But so Sensei's like, let's just say Sean's like, is magic good? She's like, it's okay. All right, let's take him.
Yeah.
And
well, go ahead.
During the whole process of him trying to get recruited, he like lies to her about what someone has said about him. I think Jhoira had said,
Joda's really. I want to talk more about Joda, but you can go ahead.
Yeah, he said Jhoira said some high praise things about him, and Jorah's like, no.
Said he was one of the most accomplished students that he'd ever seen.
Right, and Jorah's like, no, I know Jhoira, and I know he didn't say that. He's like, okay, well, I'm sorry about lying, but I really want to do this. I really want to fight, and I promise I'll be helpful from now on. Like, I want to help. And she's like, all right, come on.
Yeah, and that was like Jorah's kind of just like going along, like, yeah, okay, kid, like, well, let's see what you can do. And then he's like, Joda said, and she's just like,
stop.
No,
yeah.
I know Joda.
Yeah,
I'm almost as old as Joda is.
Yeah,
because when you get over 1,000, you know, like 1,200 years and like 1,900 years is pretty close. And he's just like, oh, I didn't think you'd like, you know, catch me in my lie. And Joda came up in the beginning of the story too. When let me see if I can find the quote from the beginning.
Yeah. Also, why find that?
When she's saying before she starts recruiting, and she's like, I miss the old crew, Teferi, Vincer, Karn. At least she's like, I know where Teferi is, and he was like, and then of course, Joda.
Yeah.
Because she hasn't messed with him, essentially since the end of the invasion block, essentially.
So after that, they go back to the Weatherlight, and they're talking, and you know they see Tanya, the angel, and she has a vampire knight beside her. And she's like, okay, this is weird. It's a vampire, but he's wearing armor. Okay, strange. And Jorah's like, okay, who like, do you have something to tell me, Tiana? She's like, yeah, this is Arvad, the knight. She's briefly talking about him before he like kneels down. He's like points his sword like he's like on any part of the crew. Like I will basically saying like the nice stuff. Like I will defend you. Blah blah blah. Night. And he's like, okay, I guess you come with Tiana. So okay, so now we have a vampire knight. That a knight of Benalia, by the way, is also part of the crew. Talk about good. And
specifically, my favorite line of the entire story, and this is Jhoira thinking this, is as she meets Arvad, she nodded to the vampire who was clearly a vampire, except he was dressed as a knight of Benalia, and no one seems to be wary of him. She's just like looking around like, yeah, like should I be like concerned, or is this guy's cool? Like he's with you, right? Like,
yeah. It's cool because like it's kind of nice to see that someone like can be a knight even though they have the curse of vampirism or the curse of blood, or you know whatever you want to call it, the vampire thing. And it's cool that
the vampire thing. They got the vampire thing going on.
Well, they call it curse of blood, curse of whatever. And it's cool to see that like you know he's actually turned like he didn't let that stop him from being who he was deep down, even though he obviously has this thirst. But we obviously don't learn enough about him. And as they're walking,
he's in the story for 2 seconds.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden they're like, Jorah's like, well, it's like she's looking at her timepiece. She's like, I'm supposed to be meeting a friend. She's like, and then mid-sentence, yep, exactly. A white aura comes in, and there's Ajani. He's like, all right, well, he's here. And before Ajani can say a word or anything, that's it.
Yep. I trust Ajani because I think he's like the least stupid of the Gatewatch. Not that he's stupid, and not that the other Gatewatch are stupid, but he was the only one that was like, do not go fight Bolus.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
So he's obviously friends with Tamio, who is also a not stupid planeswalker. So I basically trust his judgment, which makes me feel like honestly him just showing up at the end made me feel a lot better about the story.
Yeah, Ajani, you know, if Ajani's has a plan. It's actually a real one and might succeed. Unlike
Yeah, exactly.
unlike
the other 5 members of the Gatewatch
yeah,
who
yeah,
like I say we should go punch him in the face and just see what happens.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
There's 5 of us versus him. What could go wrong? Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So the thing that the one thing I want to talk about just for a couple minutes is the Bloodlines thing. Like Bloodline specifically has been that has been something that has been important to the Weatherlight because obviously Gerard was needed as part of the legacy weapon to defeat Yawgmoth initially.
Mm-hmm.
Jhoira knows this, right? Like she knows that was a thing, like not just like a small thing, but that was like a major thing that happened in her time during the Phyrexian invasion.
Yeah.
So if she knows that, why is she wanting to mess with Bloodline so much?
Oh, no,
Like
question.
why does she care? Because it's not random, and it's not just for nostalgia.
It leads us to think it's for the Cabal, but maybe there's a deeper meaning besides just the Cabal.
Maybe, but it's just don't you find it weird that she knows that like she really was like I really need a Capuchin.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
And it's like
she was like that.
Yeah. You know who also thought that?
Urza. Yeah.
And Urza, while I guess ultimately what he wanted to do was noble. Urza was a means justifies the end guy through and through.
Yeah, yeah.
He didn't care what got in his way as long as he ultimately did what he thought was right in the end. And Jhoira doesn't seem to be like that, but she's acting a little. That's got some Urza flair to it, which makes me concerned.
You got some red flags. Well, to be fair, we give Urza a lot of hardship and call him like a mean guy, but he did what he did stop was very important to stop. He did stop the Phyrexians.
Yes.
Because who knows? Like if Phyrexians won, who knows what could happen? The whole multiverse could be. Who knows? Anything's possible. Yawgmoth wanted to. Yeah. So.
He wanted to turn everything. So and that's what I'm saying. Like ultimately, his reasons are right, but
man, he
sure stomped on a lot of heads to get there.
Yeah, but that's also hard to do. Like I couldn't do it, so like he was the right man for the job, I guess. So.
Yep. So we'll see. I mean, I'm giving Jhoira the benefit of the doubt for now, but I also know where we've been with this story, and whenever she's like, "Oh, I gotta get someone who's related to Sisay, gotta get someone who's related to Gerard," it's like, this is. I don't know where this is going, but it makes me a little uncomfortable that this is your line of thinking.
Right. So we need to keep an eye on that and keep an eye on the thing on her neck, whatever she held her neck.
Yeah, because that's definitely a thing. Okay.
Yep.
All right, Ali. Any other thoughts on episode 3 of Return to Dominaria?
Nope. That's all I got for me.
Okay. All right. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the movie that we saw over the last week, Pacific Rim Uprising.
Okay, so I wasn't happy to see this movie. Like, I was going into it. I was actually kind of late to the movie. Late by like 1 or 2 minutes. Basically, I missed the small intro where I walked in. I was like, last week on Pacific Rim, or basically
10 years ago on Pacific Rim, the first one.
Yeah, just
with
recap.
Idris Elba and a real cast.
Basically, just showing what happened on the first one because I basically forgot.
Did you? Okay, so
I didn't watch the first one.
Okay, I didn't either.
I watched the first one.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I did watch it. Yeah.
All right. I'll let you continue.
Yes. So, anyways, I was late, but I went with Amberly and Lily, and we went. And I was expecting less than nothing. I was like, okay, this is gonna bomb. Like, this is it. Like, this.
Yeah. So you and I talked about it, and you were just like, I don't want to do Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
I want to do something else. I want to do something else.
Anything else? Yeah. But anyways, we watched it, and actually, after the movie was all said and done, I was like, you know what? Okay, like this is fine. Like, I mean, if you want to see robots fighting monsters, and that's what you got, and that's literally what it was. Like, it was.
It does deliver on that axis.
Yeah, and that's all. Like, what else can you expect from this movie? Honestly, like if you're expecting more from this movie, then like you are at the wrong movie.
Yes.
So on the axis, it did deliver. It's actually surprisingly, it was actually good for. I think it was actually good for kids because a lot of the pilots for the mechs were the cadets. I guess were children, youngsters, and stuff.
They
so,
sure were.
yeah.
They sure were.
Yeah. Uh, so, like, I was pleasantly surprised. I thought obviously the story was very weak. There was no like you never got to really know anybody or like there was nowhere like heartstrings pulled or anything.
There's not a lot of substance to.
No, right. And that's basically like I was like, okay, who's Lily? Lily, which was my stuff basically. Lily is Amberly's my girlfriend's daughter. I was like, okay, so what'd you like? Like, what'd you like? She's like, I like the girl. It's like, okay, which mech could you like, or which robot? She was like, the roly-poly one.
The scrapper.
Yeah, roly-poly.
The little one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, cool. I was like, well, I like the ninja orange red fast one. She's like, yeah, that one died. I was like, yeah, but that was still my favorite one. She's like,
Yeah.
she's like confused. She's like, but it didn't do anything. It died.
It's like, what do you mean you picked a loser?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, well, it's not all about who winning, but yeah, that was my story.
So Amberly or not Amberly, Lily. How old is Lily?
She's 7.
Okay. So I went with my girlfriend Meredith and her 2 boys, Levi, who's 11, and Parker, who's 13.
Yeah.
Parker is in full teenager mode. He hates everything. Everything is the worst. Everything is stupid.
Nice.
Levi loved it. He thought it was like the best movie he'd seen in like a year.
Okay.
And we saw Jumanji, what he really liked. We saw Black Panther, and this was like he was just like
enamored. Yeah, like whoa.
Yeah, like this is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah,
the whole time.
Yeah.
And Parker was fully expecting, like he was just trashing it before he went in. He was just like, "This is stupid."
Yeah.
Like I don't understand. Like he's trying to he's to the point where he thinks he's like one of my favorite things that he does is he thinks he's like really cultured.
Sure.
And he's just like and he really likes to repeat things that he like saw on the internet and like heard other people say. But when he says that stuff to me, he doesn't realize that I also can go on the internet. And I also am able to form opinions of my own. So it's just like he likes to just like spout stuff. And I'm just like, oh, okay, Parker, well let's talk about this. And then afterwards he was like, well, I didn't hate it as much as I thought that I was going to, which basically means that he also thought it was great. If he didn't hate it.
Right.
So, and obviously this movie was like tilted towards kids.
Which is I think good for it because
yeah,
it's not because it's not a movie I'm going to see. So compared to all these Marvel movies and stuff, like this is not one that was on my list. So
no, it was off of your list. It was on your no list specifically.
Yeah, so it was. I mean, it was fine. Like again, if you're looking for sustenance and actually like story and plot and stuff, like it's not a movie.
Wander into a different theater.
Yeah.
Just pick one. It will have more substance.
This is basically a robot. This is the Fast and Furious in robot form. Robots versus aliens, I guess. Just like story, just do your thing.
Okay, so here's the things I liked about the movie.
Okay.
It looked really cool. No doubt there. They obviously spent a lot of money to make it look cool.
Yeah.
I love John Boyega. I love his accent. I think he was the most intriguing person in the movie. Obviously, he was the main character, but he was the only person that I was just like, okay, I don't hate when you're on the screen.
Yeah.
I love Charlie Day. Charlie Day, for a lot of you guys know that
you like him because of the series.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's my favorite TV show of all time. And I'm not just like, I'm a fan. I'm like, no, I've seen every episode 6 times at least. And most of them I have memorized. It is my favorite show. This thing over my right shoulder right here, this is actually a little Always Sunny like picture montage that my girlfriend made for me.
Nice.
So I felt bad for Charlie Day's character because like dude, they're like obviously they all hate him. Like nobody likes him. He's like this doctor that has like he's obviously, even though he turned out to be the bad guy. Dude, you're like I understand his name is Newton, but you call him Newt.
Yeah,
that's not like a and be like people are gonna be like, oh, well, that's just short for Newton. It's like, nah, that's like someone is named Aster, and you're like, hey, ass. I'm gonna call you ass.
yeah,
Well, it's just short for Aster. No, but like if you're calling someone Newt, that's obviously like not a nice nickname.
right.
Um, and I think that this movie would, or probably does. I'm just obviously not into this, but I'm sure the toys for this movie are completely awesome.
Oh, sure.
Like think about like all the different toys they can make, like all these, like all the Jaegers, all of the kaiju's. Like
Yeah,
they could all just be super sweet.
such weird names, but yeah.
Yeah,
Wasn't Kaiju a game? Is there any resemblance to this? Kaiju the card game and
that's
Kaiju.
Kaijudo. That's Kaijudo.
Okay, they're monsters too, though. Is that the same thing or no? No, different.
Uh,
Just.
I, I don't think we know enough. I think we're just talking.
Oh yeah, I'm just curious. Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know enough. I don't know
yeah, I
enough.
don't know either.
Okay, so those were the things that I liked. I have a longer list of issues that I would like to
Okay, before we go
I would
there,
like to bring to court. Okay.
before there, the one thing I just wish they would have gone a little more on. Obviously, what the doctor's name, the evil guy, always sunny guy. He
Newt.
Newt.
Doc,
Yeah.
Doc
We'll call
Newt.
him Newt. So
Newt G. His last name starts with a G.
Newt was obviously addicted to the connection between him and the kaiju brain
Yeah.
or whatever. And
The
eventually,
precursor.
yeah,
Precursor.
yeah. Eventually became like almost like they were one person. They both can see through each other's eyes. They both can like because basically what happens is like if you guys don't know, the robots, two people get in the robot and they drift. Drifting means like your brains stick to each other. And if you have a good connection and like you just like don't break or whatever, then you can fight better together and better your drift.
I did like what they called it, like the basically like the layman term, like the nickname for it. It's called, like they called it, the neural handshake.
Oh yeah.
I did like that. I thought that was clever.
I mean, I thought it was cool that they like actually we need two pilots to pilot this thing. And it's like why? It's like well, this is like that was one cool thing that like I thought was neat. Like
that was like one of the only things they explained, and I was like, I'll accept that answer.
yeah, they explained it more so in the first one. I think it was much bigger deal back then in the first one.
Yeah, of course, because it's like you have, it's like, well, that's, you have to have that to have an understanding of this universe.
Right. So
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. And so like basically when he's drifting with this alien brain, they're both like, if he wanted to, he could spill the beans on their plans, like on what they're doing, what's going on. But
Yep.
he doesn't. He's just basically just give them information, and he's like basically so beaten down and tired of being like the slime on the floor. He's like, you know what? I'm just gonna kill everybody then.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm doing it for my wife, Alice.
sure.
Uh,
Which is the alien brain.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so anything else? Anything else that you liked
Liked. I mean,
before I go into my somewhat lengthy list of things I didn't care for?
no, that's about it.
Okay, as you yawn, are you sure?
I'm trying to think. I did like where the little girl, whatever her name was, arguing with the Russian girl, where she's like, oh, she's like being called by,
And she
she's
and she was like,
V.
"You don't belong here."
No, not that. Yeah, sure. But I like the part where she's like being called V. Don't call her Victoria. She hates that.
Yeah.
So of course she goes to call her Victoria on purpose. And
Yep.
and they're like, oh, well, if you speak Russian, that calms her down. She's getting mad, and she speaks Russian, but it's like she's
She's talking crap to her,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. That was also a good part that I liked.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so where to begin? We'll go with my least favorite thing. So obviously, there's not a lot of plot development. The characters are all pretty flat. My least favorite character is the British guy. Not only is that a character just like a trope in like every movie, but the actor who played that character, I don't even remember his name. I'm not going to look it up. I don't care enough to look it up.
Sure.
He literally plays that character in every movie he's in. Like the bumbling British guy that is like somewhat crippled but can kind of get around, and he's just like, he was literally there to just magically think of solutions to problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
He annoyed me.
Okay. They know me. It's whatever.
He annoyed me. So they're linked up, right? And they're like, their brains when they're in the Jaegers are like working in tandem.
Yeah.
Why do you have to talk to the other person when you're in the Jaeger? Your literally motions are exactly the same. Like when like it was cool when John Boyega's character and then the white guy, the preppy looking white guy, it was cool to see them do their actions. Like when they like pulled out their sword, they were like do it at the exact same motion at the exact same time.
Yeah.
But then there'd be other times when like one of them was like, "Hey, let's do this," and he's like, "Oh, okay." No, dude, your brains are linked. You don't have to say anything. That's why you're doing the exact same motion the other 90% of the time.
Yeah, maybe. Obviously, I think the viewer has to hear them say that. Maybe it's him talking.
But they
his
but they didn't
thoughts.
do it the whole time. They only did it like every once in a while.
Sure.
Because otherwise they weren't like sword, punch with your left hand, move with your left foot, take a little jump. Like they weren't saying that, but then sometimes they were just like, "Hey, let's do this thing," but our brains are linked.
Maybe it should have been like you hear their thoughts, basically. You know, like you hear them say, "Hey, let's do that move that we practice and so and so."
Yeah, but the thing is, they don't have to say it to each other. Like they're not talking to each other. They're literally having the same conceptual thought at the same time. Like that's how the system works. Like they explain that well enough that it's like, well, you don't have to talk. That's kind of the point.
Is it though? Anyways, I'll let it go. That's fine. I don't care enough to actually debate.
Okay. Okay. Number 2. How did you not know after the first movie from 10 years? Not you, but how did the characters not know that they were going for Mount Fuji? It took them 3 seconds. They were like, "Wait a second." They're walking towards something. What is it? We never looked at any of this data after the last war. We just threw it in the trash can. It's like, nope, don't need this anymore. This will never be relevant ever again.
Maybe it's not an invasion. Maybe they were just trying to do something.
And it's like, oh, man, they were all doing the exact same thing that the 3 are doing right now. And we had a lot more time last time because we actually tried to prepare. And instead, this time, we just, by the seat of our pants, we're like, let's see what they're looking at, like which direction they're facing. Oh, we drew some lines. Mount Fuji. Can't figure that out.
Man,
Couldn't figure that out the first time.
I'm just telling you, man. If you're looking for a story, you're at the wrong movie.
All right, I'm gonna keep going.
All right.
Where's all the adults? You gotta rely on children.
Yep.
This first war happened 10 years ago. I know there were adults there. There's plenty of them. They were running around looking for shelter, but yet, just in case, you literally had this interplanar threat, and there's no adults that can do anything. They're all just bumbling idiots, and then you have to have the children like in these machines, in these gigantic machines that take a lot of brain power, and you can't be stupid to do them. So let's have children. That's a great idea. It's all we have.
That's
all
great.
we have is children.
Right, but that's good for the whole PG kid watch the movie show.
It is. It is.
All right.
It is. But as a 31-year-old man,
you can't think logical.
I was like,
you can't think logically with this movie. This movie isn't for logic.
You're right. Another thing for no logic. What do you think the best? There's one answer to this. What was the best power that anyone had in the entire movie?
I mean, they have powers.
Oh, there was one power. You might not have thought it was a power, but it was a power.
You mean like the gravity chain bomb?
Anything. Pick it. Anything. Say anything. Your guess is wrong, but I'm gonna let you guess.
The one that was fucking the chick that was jumping around and kicking people in the face and ninja. The orange or red robot, the fast one.
Yeah. Nope. That wasn't the best power. The best power was their ability to fly planes from one continent to the other in under 20 minutes. There's literally multiple times in the movie where they're in their main base of operations in the United States in California, and the British guy's like, oh, better go over to China to Shao Industries to check on what they're going. And he's literally there. Like, they walk down the hallway and he's like, all right, guys, I'm here. Let me know what's going on. And then John Boyega calls him later, like after he's there, after he finds out what Charlie Day's character's doing. And he's like, hey, man, we're real dumb and you're British, so you really got to come back. And he's like, no problem. I'll be over there in a second. And then literally the next scene, he opens up a plane and he's like, hey guys, I'm back.
Right.
I'm just back. Yeah. I just got back really quickly.
This reminded me
with that technology, literally, if you can move that quickly, why are these Jaegers moving so slow? They're like glacial compared to how quickly they can fly in those planes.
Sure. Sure, but again, the story. I want to explain to you how bad the story was. We've been talking.
Please do.
We've been talking about this movie for almost about half of our segment, or more than half, and we haven't once talked about the one kid that died in the movie.
I'm gonna get to that.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that that's such a big thing, and it's just like, all right, well, that's it. There's like, it didn't matter. He died, and then at the end,
they just show his
all he sees is
he'll never be a plastic surgeon, work on boobs like his dad.
Well, the thing is, like, there's no graveyard at the end for him. There's no memory service.
No, they leave his ass there.
Well, the thing is, I forgot
and
about
they're
him
just
too.
like he is gone. Well, like he's super dead.
Well, the thing is, I forgot about him too until just now. It's like, oh yeah, the kid died, and that's like anytime a kid dies in a movie, you're like, holy crap, a kid died. This is like the biggest. Oh my god, this is sad. This was not. This is like just
this is the thing.
That sucks.
This world, they deserved to get invaded by these monsters because you're telling me you have to have kids pilot these Jaegers. You have adults, because if this kid's dad's still a plastic surgeon 10 years after this gigantic interplanar war, you're like, yeah, we should still have plastic surgeons. That's important, but we don't need any adults to do anything that could maybe present our world from getting destroyed.
You know what we should do? We should take Jaeger shots every time we say that word Jaeger.
Oh my god, I want to take a Jaeger shot to the head. Anyway, okay, moving on. I'm still not done. I have a couple more. I have more.
What do you expect from this movie? Go.
I have more.
Go.
Okay, so my least favorite scene in the entire movie is when they're in Tokyo City, or where I think it was Tokyo City.
Yeah, sure. I remember that.
Well, you're probably thinking of a different one. And they show people that are like these kaijus are in the city, and they show people trying to run to the bunkers that are going to go underground. You know the part that I'm talking.
Yes.
Okay, and they run to the bunkers that are going underground, and not everyone makes it in, right?
Yeah, and the monster basically stomps on it, like pushes it down all the way.
Well, but anyway, let's say those people are fine. They're underground, right?
Right.
So they literally, but it shows people like there's a ton of people that like can't get in, right?
Right.
And they're like, oh no, we can't get into the bunker.
Oh, we do, yeah.
Literally, that scene ends, and 10 seconds later, that stupid British guy comes up and he's like, everyone's safe in the city. You can go and muck about. And it's like, no, dude, you just showed us they're not safe. They're literally running around. They're going to get stomped on by these things. And now you're just like, nah, we don't care. It's
like, all right, time to go. It's time for Celebrity Deathmatch. You guys fight wherever you want. Destroy any buildings you want. Do whatever you want. Everyone's safe.
You literally just said all the civilians are safe.
Right.
No, dude.
That was
they're
hilarious.
not. We just saw it.
That's hilarious.
We just saw it. Okay, that was my least favorite scene. Another one was they have, throughout several points of this movie, it is clear these people have no idea how much it costs to build like structural anything, buildings, city blocks. Like it has to have an outrageous amount of money. Where is this money coming from? First of all, to build all this stuff.
Also, the way they're fighting sometimes, like their fighting is like, dude, I wonder how people have died, because there's buildings like being demolished.
They do not care at all.
No. At least
they're literally okay. One of the dudes,
at least the Power Rangers cared. The Power Rangers,
yes, they did, and they pointed that out. They're like, we got to make sure everyone's safe, and we try to not destroy as much as we can.
Yeah.
And they're just like, this guy's like, you're thinking what I'm thinking, right? Get out the ray that pulls the buildings down, and they literally, one of their moves is they're like, pull the building down, pull this building down, pull this building down.
Yeah.
That's not even the worst part, because that at least had a purpose. The worst part of all of where they don't even care about this, like the structures, is at the very end when the little scrapper comes and it's like, "What up? I'm the girl that's here to save the day," and she jumps out of the plane and she plows through three buildings that had no damage at all. Literally just destroys buildings for no reason. It's like, are you kidding me? Who is rebuilding this? You literally just tore down you went through the middle of three office buildings.
Yeah, but it looked cool.
Essentially destroying them for absolutely no reason. Are you kidding? Are you kidding me right now?
Hey, but how cool is the cool factor though? You know?
I was so mad. I literally I literally was starting to like tense up, and Meredith had to like put her hand on my arm. Oh my god, I was.
The
Where are the adults?
the,
That's all I want. Where are the
the
adults?
roly-poly life, man. The roly-poly life. That was great.
Three buildings.
That was great. That was great.
All
Oh
right.
man, and then the one part two, you can get to it, but they suspend the little girl because she's investigating. She's like, you know what? We should investigate this thing because it's a hybrid. We should go in and
Well,
check it out.
yeah. Well, the adults aren't going to do anything. We've proven that. So the
Yeah,
children are only
yeah, yeah.
help.
Obviously, they know about Mount Fuji, so they had to go in there. They go in, and
Yeah.
then they go in. They cut like one of the veins or cords or whatever, and like it spills and like scars his hand. And like, all right, well, you need to leave. She's like, okay, but before I go, I have this very important information that's going to change everything.
That's going to literally save the world.
Yeah. What? She's like, that robot. I went inside. The one I went inside and checked out and accidentally scarred this guy's hand. Well, it's technology from Japan or whatever, and they're like,
It's the kai. It's
are you
half
sure?
kai.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, the thing is, yeah. Are you sure? Like, yeah, this is the way it is. And it's like, okay,
That's
you're
really
still
good.
fired.
But you still get out of here. You're basically worthless to us.
Yeah. So yeah, that was. I mean, yeah. Again, but if you're looking to get a story or explanation or actually like logic, no. If you're looking for bash them, fight them, boppers, robots, slammers,
Yeah.
pogs, whatever. This is your
We're definitely not showing our age on any of those references.
your Digimon battles where you connect them.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my gosh. I'm like
Parnell.
getting cross-eyed thinking about this movie.
connect your Digimon with me. Let's battle. Do you remember doing that? You'd be like in school and you'd be like, hey, let's go to the bathroom so we can fight our Digimon together. Not that Digimon, but like the Pocket Monster thing. It's like a little game where you feed it to Tamagotchi.
Yeah, Tamagotchi. I didn't think they fought. I thought you just fed them and then you walked around with them and then
The
they
new
died
one.
and you got sad eventually.
The new one's fought. You could like connect them and stuff.
I didn't do that.
All right, we did that. I did that.
I liked. Okay, so you said your favorite Jaeger was the ninja one.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, my favorite one was the one that ended up being the first bad one, like the silver and orange one.
Oh, sure.
That they ended up beating in like Siberia. That one was really sweet. I thought that one looked the coolest.
Yeah.
I like that one. The movie did look good. Okay, so parting thoughts. I think the movie looked great. Like
Yeah.
everything about the movie looked fantastic. They always put a ton of money into CGI, and it looks really good.
It did, yeah.
Great movie for kids. Like
Surprising. Even the kid,
out of the three kids that we polled,
yeah.
Amberly, Lily, and Parker, 7, 11, and 13.
They all liked it.
Six thumbs up. Yeah.
The
So
thought
there's something to
being-
be said for that.
I mean, that's good enough credit for the internet. We should just be like, great for kids. That's it. That's good enough proof for the internet.
Yeah, exactly. So, Ollie, if you had to choose, are you going to put a ring on it? Are you going to like it but not share it? Or are you going to poo-poo it?
I'm definitely gonna like it, but super definitely not gonna share it. Like,
Okay.
You?
Oh, I'm poop.
Yeah,
poo, I'm
yeah,
poo-poo
yeah. That
all
was
over.
obvious. There's a big pile of poop beside you. I see it.
I'm slinging poop at this
Oh,
thing.
I know. I saw it.
Like I'm a little angry monkey. Just
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just faster.
yep. Okay. Any other thoughts on Pacific
No,
Rim
I'm done.
Uprising?
I'm done with this movie. This is good.
All right. Are you okay? Obviously, at the very end, they're like, "We're gonna bring the fight to them." Are you gonna watch the? Oh, there's absolutely gonna be a third
Oh,
one.
we have
Are you
to.
kidding?
Like, we have to watch that one. For the,
Do we?
For the podcast.
I guess we do.
Well, to be fair, I was going, I was like, oh my god, Ready Player One's also playing. Why didn't we pick Ready Player One?
No, Ready Player One's not out yet.
It was out when I went today. It was out. I wanted to
Oh,
watch it.
you actually watched this today.
Yeah, I watched it today.
Oh yeah, I'm watching Ready Player One tomorrow. Spoiler alert, we're gonna talk about Ready Player One next week. Also, we didn't throw up spoilers for this movie because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter.
Can't spoil it.
It's
gigantic monsters and mechs. That's
yeah,
it.
Yeah, exactly. It's robots versus monsters. If you expect anything more than like, they win. I mean, come on, that's obvious.
Good.
Like,
Yeah, the good
come on.
guys win. There's literally no spoilers. It was not an accident. I didn't put a spoiler warning up.
all right. We're
Okay.
good.
All right. I think we're done for this.
All right. Peace
We're
out.
done. All right. So we'll be back in just a minute to hit you with the question of the week.
Question of the week.
Ollie, are you ready for the question of the week?
Yes.
Excellent. So we're going to go back to the MTG Arena well for the question of the week this week.
All right.
This is a simple one. And I have a feeling we're both going to be on the same side because the answer is obvious. But I'll throw it up there anyway.
Okay.
What are you looking forward to more on MTG Arena?
Mm-hmm.
Constructed events or limited events?
Snap constructed events.
Limited. What? No.
Easily constructed events.
No.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. One, I like constructed more. Two, there's going to be a lot more animations and cool wonky things we'll see in constructed and limited.
That's true.
And three, constructed is great. The only time I think I'll ever play limited, not ever, I should say ever, is ever, either to prepare for an event or if it's cube. If it's cube, I will play. But if it's like, or otherwise I won't touch it unless I'm trying to prepare for an event. But constructed is sweet, man. Like I've been wanting to play constructed forever. Like I made this sweet hour promise mastermind ramp deck that people keep going 5-0 Magic Online with that I can't even play. So like yeah, like if the format is as sweet as it is right now, then I would absolutely love constructed way more than limited. So
okay,
that's me.
Well, I'm obviously choosing limited, and I think it is the superior choice.
Okay.
Okay, so one of the things that we have talked about on this show is the need for wild cards to be able to make more competitive decks and the economy, right?
Right.
The thing we like about Arena is the actual interface. Like once you enter into the game,
yeah,
it's pretty good, right?
Yeah. Visuals
so,
are great.
Yeah. So with limited, you sidestep all of that. You don't have to worry about if you were lucky enough to open up 2 mythic wild cards to your opponent's, whatever they opened. There literally be no reason to draft the most recent set on Magic Online if you're just looking for the limited experience, because how it looks and how it feels is just so much better, and you don't have to worry about having cards and filling out your collection with limited. Like limited is going to be the exact same on Arena as it is Magic Online. So if you like limited, you're probably just going to want to play Magic Online. Of course, this depends on the cost because cost does matter.
Yeah, yeah.
Assuming we're obviously that's the same for constructed events too, because we don't know how much those are going to cost.
Yeah, yeah.
But let's assume we both think that they're reasonably costed. Like, of course, like I saw that I'm never going to play limited, but I'll play or not that I never play constructed, but I'll play constructed once I like kind of build my collection through limited, and not the other way around, which I think is like, that's what a lot of new players do. And obviously this game is kind of tilted towards new players. So I just think the draft experience is going to be good because naturally draft is going to be draft. Like it's not going to be different than regular booster draft.
All right. Yeah. What I'm going to do, I'm going to be a whale. I'm just going to be like, all right, here's the money you might want. Let's play. No draft. It's also weird though because the packs again aren't normal packs. They're not like 15 card like.
But they will be for limited.
Will they?
Yes.
They have to be, right?
They are. They're 15 cards.
All right.
14 cards, yeah.
All right, so, we'll see what they do with that. Hopefully it's cheap enough. Like, I honestly, please, Wizards, if you're listening, or whoever's listening, like, these cards cannot be traded for actual money. Do not make the packs worth $3. Like, make them, like, a lot less than that. Like, $1.50. Like, max $2.
Well, I would say less than that. I would say like $1.
Because it's literally like you can't redeem them ever. Yeah. So yeah.
And they don't have to be $1. Like if you buy a single pack, it doesn't need to be $1. But like if you buy like the highest grouping of packs, it should be like $1. It should be $1.
$1.
Yeah.
Yeah, if not less. Like and like some special maybe less, because these are like, especially if you're gonna keep the system of like you cannot disenchant your Occator's last mercy. You have 4 Occator's last mercies and you can't get rid of any of them. I'm never gonna play 4 that card. Like, come on, let me do something else. So
you're probably not gonna play 1 anyway. We'll talk more about MTG Arena next week as we delve into wild cards and more about the economy and what it kind of looks like to us.
Yeah.
Now you said Wizards, if you're listening, right?
They're always listening, right?
Well, we know they're listening.
Oh
we
yeah, we do know
we have proof of that.
Well, we know they're listening by people tweeting at them.
Yes, they might not have listened to us,
But let's
But
listen to
they
you.
did listen to you guys because we have been gifted with a Dominaria preview card.
So thank you for all the people that tweeted at Blake.
And at Blake PR, you can thank him. He would love if you tweeted at him and told him how much you appreciated with us getting a preview card. We can't tell you today, but on April 2nd, we are going to be live on Twitch TV/ThinkTwiceMTG. We are going to be doing not only a stream together, our first two-man stream, but we're also going to be showing live our Dominaria preview card. We're super duper pumped about it.
And that is on Monday, April 2nd, Monday.
Monday, April 2nd. It will be in the evening. You should follow us on. Evening. Yeah, sometime evening East Coast time. You should follow us on Twitter at Jeff Parnell1 on Twitter, at Ali Aintrazi on Twitter, at ThinkTwiceMTG on Twitter. Not only can you vote on the question of the week from this week's poll, but you can also find out when we're going to be showing our Dominaria preview card and watch us joint stream Magic Arena for a little bit. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, do it.
Ali, where else can people find you?
You can find me at Ali Aintrazi on Twitter. Gathering Magic, my articles come up every Friday. So when you listen to this, they're up. My article this week's actually on Magic Arena and just my thoughts on it personally. So if you want to read more about Magic Arena, then you should check that out. And yeah, that's basically about it. What about you, Parnell?
Awesome. Well, of course, in addition to Twitter, you can find me on StarCityGames.com and YouTube. I'm the host of the Commander Versus series. We're in between seasons right now. If you're watching this in real time, either Friday or Saturday, you should pay attention. There is a holiday coming up that we like to do stuff on. And if you're a Commander Versus fan, yes, it will measure up.
Yes, just watch
That's
it.
all I'm going to say.
Yes.
It will measure up. Watch it.
Oh, also, you can find me on Twitch TV/Ali Aintrazi, which is where I'll be streaming Hex or Magic Arena. So I'll be trying to stream more Magic Arena, so you should definitely follow if you haven't followed.
Yes. So you can obviously find the show on SoundCloud. You can find the show on iTunes and our new preferred medium. You can find the show on YouTube. Now you can see our beautiful faces. We did our first live stream last week. We had some technical difficulties. So if you are one of the handful of people that tuned in to watch us live, you got to see our faces then. But you will going on, assuming we don't have any more technical difficulties.
Yes, we will have. One more. I think one more. Do we have one more?
We have one more lined up. We haven't exactly scheduled it yet, but we'll let you know. We'll let you guys know when. And of course, you can follow the show. Twitter.com/ThinkTwiceMTG. You can email the show directly. ThinkTwiceMTG@gmail.com, and you can watch us stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/ThinkTwiceMTG. Right now, I'm streaming 1 to 2 times a week. We're still trying to figure out our streaming schedule. Hopefully, Ollie's going to be streaming maybe once a week, and we plan to do a joint stream once a week too. Once we get our full streaming schedule between Ollie and I figured out, we will make sure to post that both to our Patreon page, Twitter, and of course both of the Twitch TV streaming pages for us. And of course, if you do want to support the show, you can do so on patreon.com/ThinkTwiceMTG. We really love your support. We're able to do a lot of cool things. We just finished up our tokens. We should be getting those to the printer hopefully within the next week or so. And everyone that is owed tokens will definitely be getting tokens. A lot of you have received playmats. By the time this goes live, we'll have completed another month. So a lot more of you will be eligible for playmats. We'll be sending those to you as well. If you're interested in getting tokens or playmats or supporting us and getting a lot of other different stuff, we also have Ollie's journal post where he posts some deck lists. I have commander posts where I post commander decks, and then other general musing thoughts every now and then. And you can get all of that on our Patreon page, patreon.com/ThinkTwiceMTG. We of course want to specially thank our graphic designer Amber West. You can find her work at amberwestdesign.com. We want to especially thank our director and producer, John Choi. Although I will rescind that thanks if we don't have this posted to YouTube with our faces. But assuming we do, I want to specially thank him for all of his hard work. And of course, I want to thank our Agent of Bolus tier producers, Daniel Hunt and Josh Lyons. Thank you guys very much. You guys know how much you mean to us, myself, Ali, and Director Che, but obviously I always want to tell you every show how much you guys mean to the show. You really are, you the true MVP, as Ali likes to say.
Yes, it's true. So I can't say that, but so thank you. Thank you for the support and being the best, aka MVP.
All right, that's the show for this week. Next week, we're going to talk more Magic Story. We're going to talk more MTG Arena, and we are going to talk Ready Player One. So if you want to get involved in that conversation, you know where to find us.
Yep. All right, guys. Have a good weekend. Enjoy your something.
Weekend, I think, is the what you're looking
Enjoy
for.
your weekend.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.